cars have souls.
Well, it's finally home after just under 2 years. Back in the garage again. Just wanted to show off some of the work that Scott did on the car before I start taking it apart and prepping it for body and paint. Scott did a lot of work to the car. Finished the wheel wells, as you can see here. I still need to do a little hammer and dolly work to get this smoothed out, but the bulk of the major metal work is there. I'll insert some pictures showing the inner wheel area too, where he had to make a panel for the inside. And flip this seat forward. So all this inner structure here all had to be built, and this rolls around all the way into the trunk. And then he made this patch here. That's for both sides. So I need to get, you see all the flash rust on it. I got to get that cleaned up. You can also see the roll cage that was installed, and I ordered that from Summit. And it's just a hoop and a couple of down bars. The extra bars there are for door bars if I eventually want to install those. I'm not sure about that yet, but I have them in case it's something I want to do in the future. So yeah, so I got the cage installed, or the roll bar I should say. It's not an actual cage. Seats are mounted, columns mounted, and that was done before I took it to Scott. Scott was able to get the wheels, or the Willwood pedal assembly put in place, and so those are done. Try to get in here with the light and the camera. You can see the structure underneath the dash that was built to hold those. So I got to get the hard lines ran for those and get those set up for my hydraulic master cylinder for the clutch, and then also the brake lines ran. So that was good. So yeah, the wheel wells were a lot of work. So they come out nice. Pretty happy with that. And he also filled in this big gap here for those who haven't seen the first or second video when I talk about this. We moved the rear end forward 9 inches in the car, so technically it's an altered wheelbase car now. And if it was the old days, it wouldn't fall under the gasser class. Not that any of that stuff exists anymore, but these were the glass deck lid and the rear bumper, which is glass, and the front hood, which is hanging on the wall over there, and I'll insert some pictures of that. I was able to get from a guy named John down in Fresno. So he had a 56 Ford. Actually, I'm not sure if his was a Victoria or he turned it into a Victoria. I'll insert a picture of his car, the only one that I have of it. He ended up converting it back and put it in on the street, but it had a blown 427, and if I remember right, he said that it ran in the 9s when he was running it. Beautiful, beautiful car. And I think I have some video of the car as well. I'll insert in the video, and you can see after he converted it to the street. He has a small block in it now, and super clean, nice running car. So he found me in a Facebook group and saw me posting about this, asked me if I was interested in some glass parts, because the hood and I have the original hood for the car, which was metal, of course, and I was trying to decide what to do with the tilt front end, or how to get that all figured out. And he was like, hey, I've got these glass parts, I'll make you a screaming deal on them. And he did. He gave me a really nice deal on them. So I got the hood, the deck lid, and the front and rear bumper. So I'm not going to run the front bumper. I'm just going to run the grill and the splash pan gravel guard, whatever different people call this piece here. I've got a really nice, beautiful, perfect chrome grill that will be in the car. So I really just wanted to do a quick walk around. I'm going to start pulling the front end all apart and getting it prepped and at least in primer. Yeah, so the fenders are pretty solid. I got to do a little bit of rust repair. I think there's a tiny bit on that side, and there's a little bit to do on this side right here. Need to do a little bit of finish work with the rocker panel. Scott installed a new rocker panel. On this side it was rusted out pretty bad, so he got that installed for me. You can see the new one here. So a little bit of work to do to that. And I've got these Procar buckets, and I originally wanted to run the low back buckets, but I couldn't get them in stock. They were like 4 months, 6 months, you know, maybe whatever. And after I placed the order back in, I think it was like November, and in January they kept updating the potential ship date. You know, it kept getting further and further and further out, and I'm like, I can't wait. I gotta get this stuff put together. So I ended up going with these, and then we ended up mounting the bar so the seat belts will come through it, you know, in the correct position. And I think I'm gonna be, these are really comfortable seats, so I think I'm gonna be really happy with these once I get, you know, going on the road. And, you know, for safety reasons, it's probably better that it has the higher back on it anyway. If you know, if things ever went sideways and I was able to you know, ended up flipping this thing on its lid, it's probably a better thing that has all that protection in there. But anyway, I can always, these are Procar, so later on if they ever do stock the lower back buckets and I do want to change them out, I can actually use the same brackets that are already mounted in here and just change the seats out and put a lower back bucket seat in it. So I've got options later on if I want to do that. I actually wanted to run red seats in here, and they didn't have those in stock either. So black it is for now, but these are, it's a simulated leather, and they actually look really, really nice. So pretty happy with them, and the cost wasn't too bad on them. So you can see the other wheel well on this side. Just after seeing these giant holes cut out for so many years on this car, it's just so nice to see metal and actually have it finished off. So I'll insert some other pictures. These, I ended up ordering the wheel wells off of eBay. They're, I think if you Google 55 gasser wheel wells, these will pop up, and the original sheet metal comes up, and it's like a big square piece. I'll throw a photo in there so you can see it, but I got those off eBay. These inner wheel wells here are actually trailer fenders, and I ended up just trying to figure out, I think it was the widest trailer fenders you could buy, and these are, I think I want to say they're like 10 inches or something, because they're all the way here and they come all the way out and touch the outside wheel well, or yeah, I mean sheet metal. So I don't know if you can see up in there how well you can see. Eventually I'm gonna pull the rear tires off. I got to get in there and primer and paint the inner wheel wells and get that. But this glass parts are really, really nice. I'm not gonna have to do really anything to the rear deck lid. I may have to end up repainting it to make sure that the Wimbledon white that I have for the body is the same as this. I'm gonna end up filling in the hole here where the blower came through. So this will get filled in, and then I ordered a hood scoop. It should be here in about 4 weeks or so. So it's about 13 inches wide. I can't remember how long it is. 24 inches long maybe. But I think this is 14 inches wide, and I think the scoop is 13 inches wide. So it's just slightly smaller. And so I'm going to have my buddy Neil and Tracy help me with the fiberglass work on that and get it. Basically, it'll just be the front area that's filled in. The rest of the area will be open, and then mount some supports and stuff in here. So get that put together. Gosh, it's been so long. Oh, well, I'll talk about the front stuff too. But the only thing that was left to do in the rear was to build a rear bracket here for the back of the back hood mount for the pin. When I got the parts from John, that part was missing. So Scott went ahead and whipped that up. And we ended up trimming out the rear raw guard a little bit, and actually was able to move the fender in. Not the fender, the bumper. The bumper came in just slightly, and it actually looks real nice. I know it's hard to tell in the way I'm filming right now, but I'll throw a couple of photos of that in there so you can see what that looks like. So that's about it for the interior, I believe. This whole inner structure here was fabricated to hold, because when we cut all the front, when Justin cut the front off this, there was no mounts for anything, so all of that had to be redone. So mounts on the frame, so it's drilled here and tapped, and then so we got tubing here, tubing here, tubing here, original inner wheel wells. I need to take my mock-up block and my mock-up bell housing that I have, drop it in here, bolt the fender well headers on so I know where to notch the inside of the wheel wells, because part of this is going to get cut probably back to here or so, because the headers come out, go down there. So probably from here back will get notched. I'm going to try to keep as much as I possibly can on here, and then whatever's left, I'll have to run some mounts off the firewall. I ended up having to trim the original firewall mounts off to clear where the wheel wells come through, so which is what these were. And there's another set on the inside, got trimmed off. So trying to think if I'm forgetting something. So yeah, it's just really nice to see it together. It's never been this together ever, so pretty excited about that. Oh, and the front mounts. Scott put these together for the hood as well. And so yeah, you can see all the holes in the firewall were filled. The engine was set back. I don't know how far the engine was set back. Justin did that when he built the motor mounts, which mount here. The motor mount plate. These are the shock towers, which I still got to buy shocks for that. So you can see down there where the battery, not the battery, gosh, the starter, the starter goes into the firewall. So that was notched. So that's actually where the back of the bell housing is. That's notched for the distributor. Just have clearance for that since that was set back, and then all the rest of the holes in the firewall were filled in, and just to make it clean. So all that's going to get sanded and primered and prepped here real soon, and I just got to figure out the order of doing things in. I know I need to cut the wheel wells on the inside, but I also need to get everything pulled off the front and start getting things cleaned up and getting some primer and paint on things as well. So unless I change my mind, which is entirely possible because I change my mind a lot, but the whole main body of the car is going to be Wimbledon white, which is the same color as the deck lid and the hood. And I don't know if, I'm assuming this probably was Wimbledon white or some version of white in 56. But the main body will be Wimbledon white. The roof will be red metal flake. And it's a super fine red metal flake. And then the dash, I'm still trying to figure out where to do the brake, but I believe from here up, basically where this rolls around, from here up and the whole top of the dash, I'm going to do red metal flake, and from here down I'm going to do Wimbledon white, or the whole dash will be metal flake. I still have to figure it out, but it'll match the steering wheel. If I end up keeping the steering wheel They do make, this one's a little pinker than I like. I was hoping it was more of a darker red, so I might end up picking up another steering wheel that's the color that I want. I know they have some older style steering wheels that are original and period correct for this. I've got some friends that have those, so I may hit up one of them, see if I can have them make me a deal on one for this car, and then I can just switch over the adapter for it. That'll go on there. So yeah, that's about it for now. Really just wanted to capture this moment and document the build. So next up will be lots of stuff under the hood, prep and paint, primer and paint, and then getting the dash sanded. And it's got pretty much there's no paint left on the dash. It's just all rust. So get the garnish moldings pulled off. I have all the garnish moldings for the doors and the quarters. They're still the original blue, so those will get prepped. I've been going back and forth on what color to paint the cage, and it'll probably end up getting painted black. Probably, unless I change my mind about that. But I was thinking about white, and then I was thinking about red, and then black. So I don't know. I need to get the seats pulled out. I need to finish getting the floor cleaned. It got the 4 patch panels, which you saw in the other video that I did. And the whole floor needs to be prepped, cleaned, painted, seam sealed. There's still a few little pinholes here and there that need to be filled in and cleaned. I need to figure out where to cut the hole in the transmission tunnel for the 4-speed. I got to figure that out too. So yeah, a lot of it is just cleaning, primering, painting, getting it ready to get the engine back from Tim, and actually getting some of the mechanicals done on it. I got to get the brake lines ran. I got to get a basic wiring harness in here. Basically, just as long as it'll start the engine and run the engine for now. I'm going to have to run a electric fan. So I need to get a battery box for the trunk. I need to get a fuel cell for the trunk. There's the radiator here. I've got it protected with some cardboard. And there's the headlights. And so the front trunk's all solid though, but it had some giant holes in the floor pan. Must have just sat with some bad carpet in it or something, because overall the car's pretty darn solid. Really wasn't bad. The floor pans were by far the worst, and that one rocker on the passenger side. So that's about it for now. I know I've rambled on a long time, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So that's it for now, and we'll see you soon.